Okay, so like I didn't know that it was going on like right now, so just okay.
I got a really short one if you want me to read it while you prepare.
I'm good. I got it. One night. When night was all I needed with him, as he shot me a look from across the room that wrapped a lightning bolt around my neck and pulled me forward like in those old-timey cartoons. He breathed a smile and kissed me, and suddenly I'm wrapped up in fantasy, and I don't know if it was the beer or the moonlight, but whatever it is that makes me me left my body, allowing room for a carnal animal to take over. And as the stars winked through his bedroom window, 1 and 1 became 2. Two. 2 days later, he says, I probably should have told you this sooner, but my ex was HIV positive, and seeing the look of shock in my eyes, he assures me that he's negative and that they were extremely careful. But my right shoulder angel and my left shoulder devil have been replaced by fear and guilt, and I have to wonder how careful they could have been when I don't even know his middle name. But as we played on the fairground of hormones, we didn't even use a fucking condom. But I file all this is shit that I will deal with later, assure him that I'm negative too, and that as long as he knows he's clean, I don't have a problem. But I decide in the back of my mind that I will never contact him again and pull out the later file on day 3. 3 months. 3 goddamn months before this window period is over and I can go get tested to see if after this trimester I'm going to give birth to an antichrist that is going to wage Armageddon within my veins. And that thought strikes me funny, because I'm not even Christian, but right now I'm praying to whatever God that will listen as my world devolves into cliches. Clocks tick backward, footsteps become heavier, and I begin meditation to cleanse my mind of the fear. And somehow, my hazy HIV status becomes Buddhist philosophy as I start telling tables that they don't exist. And I don't either. Really. Because we're all just the sum of our parts, and those parts are some of theirs, and so on and so forth, until eventually everything devolves into a huge pile of nothingness. And then I decide that since walls don't exist, I should be able to move through them. Become a superhero, HIV man, high V's all around. But I'm not a superhero. Just a sun-scared shitless that a simple symbol used for addition will become my own personal. And finally, the clocks begin ticking again. And I make an appointment at the clinic, sit in a sterilized room, cut the nurse's lecture on safe sex short, and become more afraid of a needle than I've been since I was 4. 4 hours later, the results are in and the countdown begins. 5, 4, 3, 2. Thank you. So, shit. Well, fuck, since that's a really heavy poem, I'll just keep doing heavy poems and... Woo! Yeah! I don't want to write this poem. I was born in the middle of March. Fuck. Never mind. Hold on. Back up. Okay. I don't want to write this poem. I was born in the middle of the night, in the middle of March. I don't remember it, but I should. I should be able to remember the smell of disinfectant, my mother's screams, the chill of the air, the warmth of the doctor's hands, and the pain of my first spanking, like just being born was a punishable offense. I don't want to write this poem. What I do remember is 3rd grade, Christmas time, and laying on a giant bed with 3 of my cousins. The smell of sweat. My oldest cousin's hands down my pants, too much wood in the stove, an RC car that wouldn't work, a red typewriter, and 30 pairs of eyes judging me 2 weeks later when I returned to school. I don't want to write this poem. I remember playing games, most with an element of chance. Ours was no different. If someone found out, we lost. If not, we kept playing, and we kept playing, sometimes with 2 players, sometimes 3, most of the time 4, but numbers never meant much to me. What meant the most was the taste of salt, the firmness in my tiny hand, and a cloudless sky in which an uncaring God looked down on us like a pedophile. I don't want to write this poem. I wish I could remember what virginity felt like. I wish that I could remember being pure. But what I remember is an uncircumcised penis, and wondering why it was so different than my own. I remember a sickening wetness in my pants while speaking to my late grandmother, and I remember puberty. My oldest cousin calling me a fag, and not seeing him since. I don't want to write this poem, but I do want to tell this story for the cathartic numbness to quiet the pain of the child locked within me, and that child wants to write this poem. To be his lullaby. Not for applause or for scores, but for 1,000 voices in a harmony of understanding, and he will sleep. And when he sleeps, he will dream. And the molestation of his childhood, the splintering of the self, the questioning of the questioning will be lit with daylight. And the nightmares will fade with the darkness. Because monsters only have power if they have some place to hide. And I'm sick of hiding them in closets of bitter heartbreak. I'm sick of jumping at shadows and pipes clinking in the dark. This numbness will be his salvation. And scary stories will vanish in the night. So hush, little baby. I've said all the words. Thanks. It's been a while since I performed that one. I was like forgetting shit. That was bad. That was so bad. Okay, so
The one with the king with the top hat.
that's a really short one. Okay, but I will do a love poem since that's kind of a love poem. Yeah, well, I'll do. Maybe the time for living is now. Maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's the day after Thursday, whenever I feel like breathing again, because you took my breath away the moment that I saw you and I don't know where you hid it. Maybe it's behind the maple tree in your backyard, or underneath the rock that you used to prop your door open, or maybe it's wherever you hid my left sock after the first night that we slept together. Yeah, I know it was you, don't even try to say that I lost it, because those were my favorite pair of socks. Just like you have become a favorite shirt to wrap around myself at night, because I get cold every time that you steal the covers. You know, the more I think about it, the more I come to the conclusion that you're a kleptomaniac. And if you're not careful, people may start to come after you with weapons. You make me want a dart gun so that I can blow out the sun and say, look at how your eyes sparkle in the starlight. Because I can't wait until night. And then, of course, you'll ruin it and say, I can't see my own eyes. And I'll say, look, I just killed the sun for you. And you'll say, who? Jesus? And I won't have a response. Which I often don't have when it comes to you. Because you steal those too. Traces of the goo left behind by your sticky fingers is everywhere. And I don't really want to wipe it away. Partly because it's kind of sentimental in a weird way, but mostly because I feel as if it would help the police find your fingerprints. Even though it would be sort of odd having all that black powder everywhere from my heart to my head. So maybe I'll just lie back here with you instead and listen to the sounds of you breathing. Even though my pillow is missing. Thanks. Okay. I'll do the really short one and then I'll go away. But no. You should. Yeah. If I knew how, I would write for you a poem. While sitting on a red leather chair, at a mahogany desk, in my own private library filled with books. I would take a feather quill in my hand and pen the most beautiful images. Add a dash of metaphor and simile, craft sneaky rhymes that hide between the lines on yellow parchment paper. And when I was through, I would take a walk down cobblestone streets with a top hat and a cane, and people would whisper as they saw me pass, saying, "There goes the next Whitman, Tennyson, Parker, or Poe." And when I made it to your front door, I would hand you my new creation, and you would read it and smile and finally say, "I love you." But I don't know how to write that poem. Thank you.
Keep it going for Kevin Barger! Yeah! Right. Thank you, Kevin. Bringing the oldies but goodies. Yeah, man. Appreciate it. By the way, Kevin has a new manuscript out that he's marketing right now. So, best of luck on that. Awesome, man. It has been one hell of a night here at the Coffee Bar. It's been weird and wacky and fun and awesome. It really has. It's another Wednesday at the Coffee Bar. So thanks y'all for being part of it and hanging out here towards the end. I think we got Aaron Price up next. Yeah, y'all welcome Aaron Price up to the mic. Give it up.
Hi. I was waiting for the bus today and I wrote this poem while I was listening to voicemails and getting pissed off and generally being in a bad mood. Alright, thanks. I am the secret sycophant in your syncopations. I am the minor crush. I will spread your wares out before me and show you which ones to push. I am the outlier, the death toll, gig over, the last call on your drunken 2-bit hipster stitching bitch. Your captive genie when your actions have meanings, but slip off course and you're talking to a joker who nods and says, "Sure." But that's only if I answer. Your rivals will surrender when they hear me whistle tied to your bumper, scattered like the freaked out would-be roadkill. Then call me sometime later because I am also a commodity, tradable, a chip on the checkerboard of your calendar, waxing chance wizard of dissonance. Your words are pretty. Show me 350, then we can talk. Cause you want a taste of this? I'm on board, but I'm shifty. Make music and that is all, because I am here to remind you at the very least. My name is Price.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all give it up one more time for Aaron Price. Thank you very much, Aaron. Always good to see you out here, man. By the way, if you haven't checked it out yet, the indie is back, and there is an article on Aaron Price's studio, Collapsible Studios, over in West Asheville. So check it out. Get hip. Cool. Well, we're here at the end of the night, and we got a couple extra minutes, so I'm gonna do a couple extra poems. Y'all be sure. Thank you. Y'all be sure and get those last drinks in, pay them tabs, tip your barkeep. He's been working hard for you tonight. So y'all make sure and take care of Max and show him some love in the tip jar. We love Max, so let him know. Cool, and check us out for open mic right here each and every Wednesday night. Thanks for coming, y'all. And don't forget about Altamont Poetry Series this Monday, the 21st, at North Carolina Stage Company, featuring Matthew Olsman. This first one's called At Home with Death. All I remember, there were flowers the people keep bringing. In their coats and ties, they keep saying such serious things. I want to tell them all to go away. These strange orchids do not comfort me. Even the mailman is not my friend today. I dispatch fire trucks, police cars, and lions, but the flowers keep arriving. Thank you. This is called The Yellow Bucket. With leaves fallen horizontal, uprooted was an enormous tree I named Triaminic, in the woods behind the golf course at the bottom of a steep potholed alleyway. Dad and I hunted golf balls with a yellow bucket. On the walk, we found a pedal car among the leaves, missing a wheel. He repaired it and painted it brown like the family Honda for me. And the streets were unsafe, so I drove in circles on the patio, and the pedals gave me a blister on my foot that was a moon. The George T. Lewis Academic Center. A blank page, the rest is, well, they say, history. Among the dead and scholars of war, among the ringing bells and endless paper airplanes, open windows in the spring, Her Majesty the teacher and the holly bushes outside the window that is wavy over the radiator painted silver to warm. And small beetles come in after the rain. Biology, a subject I never had, the teacher mad, barking like a dog on top of a desk, the children blinking in disbelief, the radon under the school. My English teacher had us read Blake, Coleridge, Whitman, Dylan Thomas, Ginsberg. She knew someday I'd fall in love. This one's called The Time Uncle Charlie and Granddaddy Came to Visit Me at School. They pulled up in some old person's car. I'll always remember the eyes, great golden hawks taking the sky. That was it. Speaking of short poems, this poem's called Really Good Sex. Really good sex. An old blind woman in Mongolia is suddenly stricken with sight. And this next poem is called At Work, because I wrote it at work. Yes. Don't tell my boss. The clock tastes like circuitry and dust. Hands like a drill sergeant inspecting his ranks, attentive only to the air inside the glass. Under the clock smells like wet leather on the first Sunday in April. Laboratory inscriptions bear the letters quartz, but it holds no gold, only an idea of what time should look like and how it should sound. Rent, 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 rent. Rent, striking a match too quick, losing the flame. Whose idea is it anyway? Why should we rent away our lives only to start over at midnight? On its rough face, the numbers shine like hair, each waiting for its part of the minute. We did Aaron Price and I did a version of that poem at the Rehappening, this past year's Rehappening of Black Mountain College Arts Museum. We got a little bit weird with it out there, as is encouraged. So, yeah, fun times, fun times. I look forward to the next one. Hopefully I'll be a part of it again. By the way, check out Black Mountain College Museum up on Broadway. It's a cool little museum right there. This is called Sure as a Prophet. She lives in Taos. There's a church there. Jesus is her only lover. The church is the solace of an old shoe. And it moves too, like Burnham wood. And so her death must be riding. Time leaves her memories about the lawn, melting like ice sculptures in the sun. The day turns to fall, and she hears music, dancing like bright roses. It's raining again. This poem's called To la Niña de los Panes. Girl of the Cones. The voice is a pair of bird wings. The voice that rings out in grenadine streets. The voice like the azan from a minaret. The blue voice of a million hillsides. The green voice naked in the morning rain. The voice gliding above the arachnid guitar. The voice twisting in the clear darkness. The voice is a romance of water. The voice that goes across the sky with the moon. And this is one I translated from the Spanish of Pablo Neruda. This is called El Lago, the lake. Lake Rupanco speaks all night, alone. All night the same language of